Hi, welcome back to Feminism on Trial. We're doing a new thing here where it's like no makeup, let's just be completely real. Also, it's a lot to put on makeup and everything for every video. Anyways, welcome. I just want to talk real quick about something that drives me crazy, and I know it gets on your nerves if you have children, and this is usually if you're separated or divorced, then the mother, we'll put her in quotes because I think a mother means more than just somebody coming out of you. Sorry, it's more than that. It's what you do. It doesn't mean like a child came out of me. Doesn't make a mother. And you know what? They'll be the first to say what makes a father. So I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So anyways, what drives me crazy and drives these men crazy is that the whole my kids. Like, I'm trying to think of an example when they're talking about it. It's like, well, don't do that with my kids, or my kids are going to the such and such. When are you going to bring my kids back over? Lady, they are not your kids. They are our kids. Do you notice this, how women do this? It really tells you how they think. You're just the sperm donor. That's all you were there for. Your stud services. Sorry, that's the horse person in me. Like you have no say, you have no place, you have no anything. It's just like, thank you for your services, kind of a thing, and thank you for your wallet. But lady, no, they're not your children, and I'm sick and tired. These children are not for you to use. They're not, women, for you to use them to live vicariously through them. If you always wanted to be a gymnast, but you never had the chance, or you never had the guts, or your family never had the money, whatever the reason is, if your daughter wants to be a gymnast, that's great. And it's okay to introduce her to different things, whatever. But like, you don't like push for her to do the thing that you always wanted to do so that you can live vicariously through her and push her to keep doing that thing. I saw that a lot when I was a riding instructor. You get a lot of moms that were like, oh, I always wanted to ride horses when I was young, but we didn't have the money, or we lived in the city, la 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 la. And I'm like, cool story. How you doing, Abby? Or whatever the kid's name is. And I'm just disgusted by these mothers living vicariously through their kids. Now, let's talk about a different kind of mother. I learned about this mother. Well, it's not like I didn't know, like, conceptually about these women, but I've, let's say, had a closer experience with these women, and I've talked to somebody who is dealing with these type of women. The moms who use their children, the divorced moms, or some of them aren't divorced, some of them are still married. The women who use their children to bait a man into a relationship. Yeah. Like, what? Or use their children to keep the man. Oh, let me explain. So, let's say you're dating a woman, and this is an older age group. This is more like the desperate ones, the 40-year-olds that are like, oh crap, I don't want to buy a dog and die alone. And they're starting to realize they don't have the prospects that they once did. Let's say they're in a relationship with someone and they have introduced their child to this person. Probably not the best idea. So they've introduced their child. Now their child knows the man, and like there's a relationship. And then, what if the man wants to break up? Well, now the mom's like, you're going to break my daughter's heart. My daughter misses you so much. She's asking about you. It's like, are you serious? You're using your daughter? Not to mention, these are the women that started to have this daughter call the guy dad, like way too early. Because there are men out there that want to be dads, maybe didn't get the chance. So the women see an opportunity. They're like, oh, you're such a great dad. You would be such a great dad. Oh, so-and-so, my daughter, really loves you, and you're so good with her. Be careful about those women when they're telling you you'd make such a good dad, or you're better than her father. I'm like, parental alienation alert. No. Don't buy that. These women are using their children to keep you there. They're using their children to get you down the aisle. You're the desired like beta wallet guy. That's what they're doing. They're using, can you imagine? Using their kids, having their kids call the man dad or daddy, and like guilting them into a relationship, keeping them there, using it to stroke their ego, make them feel like, oh yeah, I am a good dad, or I'm a hero. It's a white knight thing, but it's different because it's the kid. It's amazing. Or imagine this. There's a guy in a relationship with a woman, and she has a kid. She decides to sign her kid up for some kind of lessons with that guy. Maybe I don't know, what does he do? What does he teach? What are some lessons? There's music lessons. I was trying to think of something different because I didn't want people to think it was about a certain person, but let's say it's music lessons, right? So she starts, get her into music lessons. Okay, well, you're using your kid to be closer to that man. They do that. They get their claws in. It's just another level that they've got you. And then, let's say the guy wants to break up. And so he's like, well, we're going to take this kid off my schedule, off my lesson schedule, because that is really something that needs to end. It's not that appropriate anymore. And then the woman, the mother, puts the kid back on the schedule. These are two stories that I have learned about recently. Real life stories. These are not mothers. You don't do that to your children. You don't use your children like that. I know we used to say the only people that a woman loves are her children. That used to be true. Now I don't even think they love them. Because if you loved your children, you would stay with the dad. Don't give me this, well, he was abusive. Shut up. No, he wasn't. He's probably sick of taking your crap, okay? Standing up for himself is not being abusive, so take that somewhere else. I'm so sick and tired of that. See my video on every ex is a narcissist and is a narcissistic abuser. Baloney. So if you loved your kids, you'd stay with their dad, and you'd be good. You'd be good to the dad. That's what you would do. If for some reason you split up, you would not be calling them my children. It would be our children. And you would make sure that things were as normal as possible, that custody was as equal as possible, that they saw their dad as much as possible, and that he had just as much say. He wouldn't be having visitation. You don't visit your kids. So these women, they don't love their kids. They don't. Because when you love people, you don't use them, you don't own them, and you don't keep them away from the most important person, one of the most important people, father and mother. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that out of spite. So that's not going the right direction with women. And I just wanted to call it out. And I just wanted to put out a warning out there to the men, like, they will use their kids to get you. And you might not see it coming, because in your head, when you have principles and you have morals, and it just blows your mind that any mother would do that, it's not going to dawn on you. It's not going to dawn on you that that's what's happening. But when you hear things like, oh, you'd make such a good dad. Oh, you're so good with her. Oh, her father, da, 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 da. Don't believe anything she says about the father, because if the roles were reversed, she'd be saying it about you. And after you break up, she will be saying it about you. So watch out. Watch out for those mothers, whether they are mothers that you're dating or mothers that are divorcing you. Because the children are their weapons. That's it. The children are their weapons, and it is so sad. But we got to call it out. On that lovely note, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. YouTube hates me. I know. I didn't think about it when I made the name for the channel because I wasn't thinking about being a YouTube star. I don't care about that. I just want to speak the truth, and I just want the men to know that I see you. That's all I want. So hit like and subscribe so more men can see this and know that they are seen. I know there are other channels that show them that. There can't be too many. There just can't be too many. So on that note, have a great rest of your day, and thank you for listening.